I had no choice other than to play rugby. You can't have too many Lou Reeds in a team. That was where the love of rugby began, really. What I will say is I was massive. I lost hope because they were so good. They were as disheartened in me as I was in the game. He manipulated me like a piece of clay. It's really hard to sort of tell people how I felt. They fixed me everywhere, Jeff. Like, I struggle to say I'm an international.
It's with great pleasure to welcome former Welsh international, Llanelli and Cardiff player Lou Reed. Are you keeping, Lou boy?
Very good. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Oh, good. Because everyone I speak to now, right? They all go, and I have seen you in a couple of clips. He's a character. So I think it's important when you're training every day. You're in the training rooms, you're out in the park training, right? I think it does get a bit tedious, doesn't it? And you need to have characters there.
I think the most important point about being me was I had to have a laugh in training every day. I think the tricky bit came with me was when something serious would come up, and then I'd still be having a laugh.
Yeah,
that type of thing. So I had to really be conscious of my environment and who I was.
No filter.
Well,
check your filter.
Well, yeah, it was a filter. The filter thing was there, but whether I was under pressure or not, I'd still be the same me.
Yeah.
And it was so important to have that. Game week, you'd start off light-hearted, chilled out, playing, training, all this stuff. And then as the game got closer, I sort of reeled it in a bit.
Yeah.
But not completely. It's still...
No, but that's the way you're coping with it, don't it?
Yeah, and I needed that. Nervous energy is huge for me. You've seen me today before this podcast.
Yeah, you have, right.
So that type of thing for me, I had to be myself. If I wasn't myself, I would never go through the week.
Because I'm not sure if I could have been a professional rugby player. Because I think I'd got bored very quickly. And my patience then would go away. And I'd struggle to sit down, go through videos and all that all the time. I think I could do it.
I tell you now, I struggled every moment I was in them videos. I'd look at a video and someone missed a tackle, I'd burst out laughing. The coach looked straight at me, I'd stop laughing. When people say I'm a character, that's the sort of stuff they're on about, is me sort of saying inappropriate things at inappropriate times.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're totally right.
Well, I think I'd have gone with you in the change room.
Yeah, well,
have a good laugh.
You said, didn't you? You can't have too many Lou Reeds in a team because you'd never play properly. And like I said a lot in public, I'm very, very light-hearted in life, in death, in sporting moments, in work. I think I keep it all in perspective.
It is. I think it's, with all your best mates, right? The humour is dark because I think you trust people who you can say things that you would never say in front of anyone else. And that's a trust thing, and it's an environment where you think you're safe and you're happy and you can say whatever you want. Yeah, well, that's basically what the end of my rugby career and all that type of stuff was mobile phones. Because, you can't, I'm really conscious of who's around me, what I'm saying, all this, and you can't go past a group of rugby players now without them having a mobile phone and having a look on something. So I was like, and it's careful, it's always taken out in the wrong context, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the coaches got you as well, where they can send you a clip of you doing something wrong in a game, and they can get you 9 o'clock at night. I don't want to be looking at that 9 o'clock at night. No. I mean, I want to be watching an episode of Stranger Things. You know what I mean? With a nice cup of coffee.
Yeah, hey, good soundtrack in that.
Yeah.
Good soundtrack. Right, talk about the end of your career, right? Let's start. Born and bred in Treorchy, right? So, was your first kind of love growing up? Was it rugby or not?
No, it wasn't rugby, but I'll be honest with you, Jeff. I've been thinking about this a long time, particularly driving down here in the car, and all my rugby memories, you were in them. It always sounds a bit strange.
Weird.
I know, but what I mean is, every time I can remember international, your voice was there. Every regional game or club game, your voice was there. And for me, I used to walk up from Treby to Treorchy on a Sunday night up to Cwm Park, which was quite a lonely walk from my father's, my mother's house.
Yeah.
But when I'd come home on that night, you'd be on the TV waiting for me. So, in a strange way, you've been with me throughout my whole career.
It is weird. It is weird. But because people say that even when you go into someone's living room, like it is a powerful tool, So, what are your apart from myself?
Yeah.
what are your other memories of growing up?
Yeah. Well, I went to Cwm Park Primary School, and Joy Bishop was the head mistress. Andrew and Di Bishop's mother, who played for the Ospreys.
All right.
So I had no choice other than to play rugby
What?
because she would be a big advocate for it on lunchtimes. Chris Jones would come to my school
Oh,
with
yeah.
Dale McIntosh,
Yeah.
Neil Jenkins, all these guys.
It's brilliant, mine.
And it was huge, not just for me, all my friends. Imagine the Chief walking through your door in his prime, you know what I mean?
And Jinx.
And Jinx was monstrous for me, like
Yeah.
his kicking ability, and not only that, the time he gave us when we were kids. And I
Yeah.
mean now, not teenagers, we were kids. And we had Neil Jenkins and Dale McIntosh
It was
running around.
brilliant, mine, because I think that model that Just Rentals had in Rhondda should have been applied to every region.
Oh, honestly, fantastic. And it made such an astounding impact on me. I knew nothing about rugby. I was from a tiny little village just off
Yeah.
Cherokee. Cherokee had the dream going on.
Yeah.
My street had a little stye at the top, and I could hear the tannoy going off, you know. So that was my sort of knowledge of rugby, really, on the TV and you. But these guys coming into my school was a different animal, and then that was where the love of rugby began, really.
I remember I played one of my last ever games up in Chalky against Zebras.
Mm.
And they were all trying to kill me. I was like, I had one leg, and I think I saw that trick against Lynn Jones, right? But the best thing I remember is we called in the Garled pub on the way home.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good place, and I always found playing in Cherokee, the mountains that are surrounding you, it's quite an intimidating place to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It is. But you've been a Rhondda boy, right? How did you end up at Llanelli then?
Yeah, it was a strange one because I was with Pontypridd for the start, and then the Celtic Warriors. Then Celtic Warriors disbanded, and then I was given an option to go to Cardiff. Being a Rhondda boy, the city was the enemy. You know, they don't give you anything, and they got 25 rugby pitches. We got 3. All that type of stuff was embedded into me, and I had a choice. I went down there with Justin Bennell, and Mike Rea was in charge as well. I went down there, had a look around the place. Dar Young met me with Bob Norster, all the big boys, and I was honoured to.
Rolled the big names up for you, sir.
Yeah, they did. Me and my mother went down after a bit of food in Cardiff. We caught the train down, and it was good. You know, the Arms Park was thriving place, and Cardiff looked good. The same happened in Llanelli. I went up there with my family. Garth Jenkins rolled a red carpet out for me, showed me what I could potentially have.
How old were you then?
I was 15, just before my GCSEs.
Were you still kind of, the size you are now then?
I was the size I am now, but I was lean as a kidney bean.
You filled out a bit now.
I filled out a bit now, but I looked like a man really, at the age of about 11 probably. You know, I was one of them guys in PE that you'd look across and think, hang on, how's he got a beard? You know what I mean? I was one of them people.
I used to keep my trunks on.
Oh no, I'd take mine off. A bit too much probably, but yeah. When I got up to Llanelli, then they offered me a place in a halls of residence, and then go to College Cigar, and then get over train with the Scarlets on a Tuesday night, Tuesday day, and then that was it for me really. I went up there and
100 games then. You had 100 games for Scarlets.
Yeah, 100 games. I was in a group of boys who were probably the most talented academy group you can think of, with John Fox, Prieston, Ken. We had a whale of a time. Aled Walters, our fitness coach.
Yeah.
You know, and Aled's gone on to do great things now. Yeah. So he was the guy who prepared us all. And like I say, I don't think I would have done it if I didn't have a laugh on the way through. Like, so that's how that because it was a serious bunch of boys.
Well, you had to make it. You had to make it as well.
Yeah, and we were all. But what I will say is, I was massive, so I had a little bit of an advantage over everyone, where I was already a man, able to deal with men.
Yeah.
A lot of other people are skillful and this type of thing. I think being big is a big advantage, but you have to work for it still.
Yeah. What was your fondest memory? Maybe your best match with the Scarlets, or any fond memories there?
Oh, I got so many fond memories. Living in Llanelli, living amongst the people, playing in Stradey Park was huge for me.
Yeah.
The crowd. I'd probably say I lived in Morgan Starlad in a flat. We thought we were in Beverly Hills at the time.
Another Rhondda boy,
Another Rhondda boy, yeah. I loved living in Morgan, and Morgan couldn't drive, so I was his professional chauffeur for about 5 years, I reckon. But we lived in a flat in Llanelli, and we genuinely thought we had hit the jackpot. We did, because we had a balcony, and we'd play games, and we'd be recognised around town, that type of thing. But I did get a little bit entitled, which Phil Davies sort of pulled me up on, where I had the tracksuit, I had the car with the Scarlets sign on it, driving home to Cherokee and get my arm out the window and sort of showing the boys. And then Phil's like, listen, I'm not sure what you think you are, but you're going to go to Rotherham for 2 months. Yeah, he sent me up to Rotherham, and that was a real sort of turning point, because it was a tough old league. and I'd been playing for the Scarlets. I'd missed Candidly, so I'd gone from academy to the Scarlets, now the semi-pro.
Did you have your name on the car?
I had the name going up beside the car. I
Did
thought,
you?
yeah, I thought that was a business.
You like, I was around. I hated that. See, I was up in Warrington,
Yeah.
for Widnes.
Yeah,
Then every time I stopped the traffic lights, and then
they knew we were.
Warrington fans were like, And my kids are going, "What are you doing, Dad?" I said, "Oh, I don't know. Ignore that." So what I did, I got a hairdryer and then pulled some of my letters off my name off.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh, take it all off." That's what I did.
No, I loved it, but probably for all the wrong reasons. Like, Phil was a great guy to pull you back down, and he did. And he said, "Listen, you're a little bit entitled." I think it happens with everyone, doesn't it?
It's good that someone appreciates it and notes it early, because it's better to get it knocked out of you early doors and later on. See.
Yeah.
So Rotherham was? What were you playing against up there?
Oh, Rotherham was tough. It was two sort of sections to the league, and we were right on the bottom of it. And they put me up there, and it was part-time as well, so I had a lot of time to kill. So I just ate myself. Then when I got back to Scarlets, I can remember Stuart Gallagher and Phil going, "Oh, you put some weight on, you're looking great." I've been eating meal deals for 2 months, trying to get through my day, watching daytime TV. But they generally, I started all the games for Scarlets after that, and I done all right. But the rugby was really tough in Rotherham. And when I got back, I didn't really, think, I've made it. I was thinking, I got to stay here now for a bit.
So what was your fondest memory, in Candidly? Any game or, any successes?
I suppose the squad we had some, we didn't win anything as such, but I was really lucky to be in a squad that Steve Jones, Dave Lyons, Scott McLeod, people that brought me on. Yeah, some great boys, really good squad. And we played against the Barbars touring club, and I thought, wonderful to be involved in it all. But as far as like a memory, probably Perpignan. We played against Perpignan in Scarlets, Priestland, and all the boys scored a cracking try. I just hit about 40 rucks leading up to the try. If you look at it on YouTube, you see me hitting rucks all day.
It'll be caught out there, you.
Yeah, no. I was very rarely involved in any sort of tries for Scarlets or anything like that. But I always say I put the hard.
I was involved. Was you in rucks?
I was
Unless you hit the ruck, you won't win the ball.
Yeah. But I never got my hands on the ball too often. Like.
And then, right, being successful, the good Scarlets, right? Playing for Wales. Do you remember your first match?
Yeah, I remember my first one. I was involved with Wales for a long time. I was in and out of that squad for such a long time, and I lost hope because they were so good. I lost hope that I'd be involved in anything. I was like, this is my future gone, because they got an abundance of people who can do a really good job. But then I was being pulled in all the time and left on the sort of periphery of it.
Loads of second rows named, isn't he?
Yeah, loads.
It was weird. I don't know. Andrew Coombs got a grand slam, and he came out of absolutely nowhere, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I got injured and they pulled him in. But I always thought, every time they were about to call me up, I was genuinely thought they were going to ring Derwyn Jones before me, just to get him in one more time, because I just never thought they'd have a chance. But then, lo and behold, it came, and I was in the Vale doing the training all week, and Rob McBride just came on to me and said, "Listen, you're going to have a bench against Scotland," and I got on for 7 minutes, and I had.
Who was with you when you were told? Someone said Rhys Priestland was with you. What's the?
Oh, for one of the training camps, Rhys Priestland was in. We were in John Fox's flat in the Bay, and we'd been out on a night out the night before, and it was a wonderful night out, like they used to be. And I was laying on the settee, and I was thinking, am I going to get this call or not? And both phones went off. Ding, ding. And mine didn't. I think because I was on a pay-as-you-go at the time. I was laying on the settee, and I didn't, it was awkward, Nick, because them two were sort of looking at me, and I was looking at them, and I was thinking, I haven't got in. And then my phone dinged. I was like, yeah. I think we went out again then, straight after.
That's brilliant. Who do you play against the first cap?
Scotland. Yeah, Scotland. It's only 7 minutes I got, but I was like a madman for 7 minutes, as you can imagine. And then after the game, and we had you get toasted, by all the team and the rugby union puts on a nice dinner for you and all that. You get up and you do your bit, and then you're out for the night then, and it's wonderful.
Did you have to sing a song or something?
Yeah, and I'm more, do you know what? I'm more renowned for that song than I am for my first cap or any of my rugby.
What do you say?
I sang Lionel Richie Hello. But the thing that sets me away from everyone is, obviously I was on it. I really enjoyed myself.
It's brilliant. If you don't enjoy that, right? Because I'm a firm believer, you work hard, right? You got to enjoy successes because there's a lot of losses. Mm-hmm. So you have to enjoy it.
And I'm not. People will talk about me and say, "Oh, he's a character," blah blah blah, all this. I'm on the smash all the time and all that, but I'm thereabouts. I'm ready to go whenever you want me to. And But I get drunk really quickly. If I have a pack of wine gums, I'm ready to rock and roll for Wine
Yeah.
Street. But no, when I ended up getting capped for Wales, I felt like I needed to be a Welsh rugby player, sort of per se.
Yeah.
And it never really worked for me, Jiff. I couldn't fit into the mould of it. I didn't feel sort of like I'd ever, got to that point. I didn't have a lot of caps over the. Like, I struggle to say I'm an international, and loads. I don't know. I've always had this feeling that I only had 7 minutes in one campaign. I played a couple of games. Like, I played one full game for Wales, and then but I never really think of myself like the greats that have gone before me. I think I've played a part.
There's not many people got Grand Slams, man.
No, I know, and I always get.
I haven't got one.
No, I know, but you got plenty of money in the bank account from going north. I wish I could have gone north. I did go north,
yeah,
and I didn't have any money.
You were in the wrong game.
I know.
It's like us in that game.
I know.
Forget that like
I know.
So who did you had a cap, right?
Yeah.
Who did you tell first?
My mother. I think I gave her a ring and said I'm starting. She probably thought I was upstairs. That type of thing. But I went down to the pavilion in the Blues. Actually, told Phil, because I had this relationship with Phil where he brought me through the Scarlets, and he saw something in me a lot of people wouldn't see, and he gave me opportunities that probably other coaches wouldn't. So I went straight to him for probably a bit of guidance and how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And preparing for that. Then I hadn't been told I was on the bench until the Thursday, Friday team run, Saturday game. To have a lot of time to focus or like what I was doing. So Phil chilled me out, said, do what you do.
It's good to have a mentor, isn't it?
Yeah, and he was. Yeah, he was. And he still is to a certain extent,
Yeah, is he?
I'll ring him now if I got any life issues.
I know, I ring him and he bores me then. He bores me then with referees talk. I'm like, fair, that's enough now. That's so. So where do you keep your first cap?
I keep my first cap just behind my my head when I have teams causing work, so people can see I've been capped for Wales. I do keep it in a little sort of room in my house where I do all my work, and I got a little plaque on the wall too. That's the only thing I got really, is the little plaque on the wall just saying where I played, how many games I played, and my cap and my medals are there.
Do you know what number you are?
I did glance this morning, but
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I think I'm 800 or something.
Oh, I can't remember.
You got to be in the 900s, here.
I'm up there somewhere, yeah.
That's where you are. You got to be. So then you played that. So did you play any games in 13 then? Because you went on tour then in 13, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Japan. I played against Australia in the autumn series. And then I went to Japan then, where we went out there with all the boys went to Lions, and they put like I think they called it a development squad.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually called it that, but we could look around. It was Dan Bigger was there, but he obviously wanted to go on a Lions, so we had all that to deal with. Liam Williams is just starting out, so we had him cutting about the place. We had a lot of boys there who were sort of really good regional players, hoping to take a step into international rugby, and the Japanese were right up for it, and Eddie Jones was pulling the strings there.
He's always who's the best player you played against?
Best player I played against, I'd say probably the most memorable player I ever played against is Backy Sporter, and the reasons are clear for everyone.
That's my next question. Gone. Who's the hardest player you played against?
All right. Well, I don't know if Backy Sporter was hard or if he was the best, but he could have been whatever he wanted to be when I was playing against him, because I would have let him, because he manipulated me like a piece of clay on the Arms Park, and I wound him up like as much as I could have, because that's all I had to give him. Really, I couldn't carry harder into him because he'd chuck me about. I couldn't get tackled by him and try and bounce him off because he'd just run straight through me. And I wound him up a lot in that game, winding him up a little bit. And then I found it really, really difficult trying to compete with him around the park. And he was old then as well.
Yeah.
And he hated the artificial surface.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He hated it. He would tell me about it. Like when he was in the ruck, he'd say, what are we doing on this place?
Was he playing for Toulon?
Playing for Toulon, yeah.
That's right. He said he wasn't interested with it. Like he didn't really want to play, did he?
Well, that's what I mean. And he was the hardest guy I played against when he weren't interested.
It's mad, isn't it? I remember watching that game. You could see he was like,
yeah, he wouldn't go up in a line out to nothing. He still took a line out off.
Fair play, looking after himself. Like, did you enjoy? Did you enjoy your career? Do you look back and do you enjoy it more now, or do you think you really enjoyed it as you were going along? Like, try to play as many games as you could.
No, I didn't have that mindset, Jeff. I was I was a complete opposite to that, actually. I got to a point where I realized that rugby had to be a business for me. I really did realize it. And I don't know whether I'm ashamed to say it or whether it's real saying it, but I tried to look after myself as much as possible to a point where I was thinking, do I really want to be playing in this game? You know, I was injured to hell and back. I really struggle to get through a working week.
Yeah.
And the training is brutal. I always questioned
I
why
know.
are you training me so hard?
I know.
I'd come to a game, I was thinking
because that's the difference. When I went to rugby league, right, no contact. You know, for me, there's no line outs, no scrums, no rucks, no mauls, right?
Yeah.
It was purely plays, but they're big on the defence, right? Well, you can see that now with all the coaches that come this way.
Yeah.
But like when we got into a game, right, you felt like, right, you know, some people wanted to kill boys because they hadn't had any kind of contact in sport, and then they smashed each other.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I never understood. Not that we could do it, but if somebody wanted to fight me in a rugby pitch, they would have to do it in the first 5 minutes, because otherwise I'd be so out of breath trying to keep up with the plays. I'd be so I wouldn't know what the next call is. I'd get to a scrum. I'd think, I can't think straight. I'd be on the physios all the time. Get on here quick, help me out. Like, get on that mic and pull me off. You know, I weren't the type of guy. I don't know if I don't want to do myself a disservice because I got to international level, right? But I will say, did I enjoy it? Looking back at it, I want more people to know I played. Because
but the thing is, you talk yourself down here, right? You got the most out of yourself.
Yeah, I did. I got to where I wanted to be, but that was the thing. I got that one cap, right? And as if I was looking around thinking, I got here now. That's sort of enough for me. You know, that's as much as I want. I loved playing for Wales, and people saying, like, more people associate me with playing for Wales now than when I was playing for Wales. I didn't have any sort of, my ego needs a stroke now and then. And I was thinking, these people are speaking about the other guys a lot and not about me. Now, I get a lot of people saying, oh, you played for Wales, you played for Wales. I'm thinking, yeah, I did actually. I played up there. But as far as enjoying it, I'm not sure I enjoyed it. I think I did it as a result of committing myself to it and getting it.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
So what was the best perk during your career?
Best perk. I've thought about this. I've got two things that I'd like to talk about. I opened Debenhams with Max Boyce up in Carmarthen. Me, Max Boyce. I think Rhys Priestland was there as well.
And he's from Carmarthen, isn't he?
Yeah. Well,
we have someone from Carmarthen.
Yeah, they needed someone to sort of interpret for me. And when I turned up, the lady we'd done the ribbon. Max Boyce was there, Priestland there, so everybody knew who they were, and they wondered who I was, standing in the corner with the mannequin. And they got me, and to say thank you, they gave me a big bag full of testers. I still got them in the house. So if any of you need a spray, let me know, pop over. But the number one thing, right, my Nando's black card.
Oh, yeah, you heard about them.
Well, I didn't get to that state, the chef.
No, I can't. No, me. Don't worry, neither did I.
But I got a golden gecko from Chiquitos, right? And I tell you now, for anyone who knows about these things, you got £100 limit. When you walk out the door, it resets. You go back in and you got £100 again. So when I'd get the £100, I'd go out and I'd moonwalk back in. I'd have a 3-course meal. And I did a lot of it when I moved to Manchester. I was living on my own, and I was like, I may as well go out for food by myself.
Where do you live in Manchester?
I signed for sale for a bit. Not many people would notice.
Oh, I can't remember that.
No, because it was just, I just
Quite a cool place, Sale is mine there.
Yeah, it's good. It's edgy. That's what they were calling it up there. And I went down to Salford Quays, and that's where the Chiquitos was. And I'm not joking, I'd say every night of the week I'd be there. And they thought I was like a Corrie actor, because in Salford, that's where it's all. And they were like, "Are you in Corrie?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm in Corrie." And I was eating all this food. And because I was on my own, see, in my house. My wife stayed home. Yeah, I went up there to try and. Yeah. Well, that was the beginning of the end for me, really. You know, how would you play when you're on your own all the time?
It's not nice.
You know, cutting
about. You got to be happy.
Yeah, so that's.
I took mine everywhere with me. So I couldn't be on my own as well. So.
But secretly, I sort of knew that it wasn't going to last long. So I thought, why change too much at home? She had a job and all this. And I was like, how long is it going to last? Like, I seen the squad they had, and it wasn't like the Welsh squads. They were scratching around for academy boys and checking the odd semi-pro guy in.
Yeah.
They had Russians in the second row who were really capable, and they had a couple of boys who were international standard, and I was like, where do I fit in here? The state of me, like my body was failing me. You know?
Yeah. So you retired 29.
Yeah, I retired.
That's very young, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, and like I say, it was a sort of a light bulb moment where I got the caps. Financially, I probably would have wanted to stay in a bit longer, and I probably could have gone another couple of years out of it. But I'd been injured. I got a
sort of blend on it.
Yeah, I had so many injuries as well. I'd been injured. I'd had multiple coaches sacked. I had multiple contracts talked about and left, and then the team talks were getting tedious. The smells of the, you know what I mean? It's hard for someone who's played at the level I played at, and for the childhood that I had growing up and wanted it. It's really hard to sort of tell people how I felt.
Did you have that one light bulb moment, as you said? I remember I was in the car park in Widnes, and I turned the car engine off, and I, as if I turned my brain off, and I went to training. And when I came back in the car, I turned my brain back on. I was bored. I found it boring then, but then I for some reason I changed and I went to Warrington, and it kind of inspired me again. I started again then.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to happen to me. I was waiting for the moment where a team would come and I would sort of flip and think, oh, because I thought going to Manchester as well. I thought I'm going to get another couple of caps out of this. Yeah. But it never happened.
Good side, weren't they?
Yeah, they were good. They were good. They had a lot of good boys, but they were as disheartened in me as I was in the game, and I could feel it. I think Steve Diamond sort of thought, oh, I signed you. And then I was and give him.
And he didn't hang around with his words, did he?
Oh, well, he said to the boys, he said, I thought we'd signed Alwyn Jones, but I think we've signed Tom Jones. He said that in front of everyone. And I was like, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. So that was it then. The light bulb moment was basically.
So was that the main reason you just hung up your boots?
Yeah, and I had no plans at all, but we worked out an exit for me, and financially, I thought, I can actually get a bit of time to myself to plan my next move, and that's
brilliant, man. That's because I think that's so important, right? It's a transition into a new career, which is like another 30 years, right? That for most players, and I don't think they think that enough. Maybe at the start of the career or middle career, and then they panic at the end of it. So, what was your transition like into to retire? What did you think you were going to do, and how did you go about it?
I had a bit of a wobble, like I wasn't an academic, so I didn't know where I'd fit in the modern world. I really didn't know, because I couldn't turn a computer on really. Oh. I'd left school at 16, I did a bit of college, but it was for rugby really. My link with the Scarlets, sort of, they were like, listen now, Scarlets are here, college is there, make your mind up what you want to do, sort of thing. So yeah, I had a bit of a wobble, but like I say, I was lucky that I had that financial buffer to sort myself out. I played for Merthyr when Stan Thomas was involved. He weighed me in. Yeah. And then I had a bit more time on my hands then to sort of think, right, what am I going to do? So I just started applying for jobs. I honestly thought, because I played rugby for Wales, I'd walk into a job. Yeah, and it just isn't.
To change,
it isn't the way it is. No, it isn't.
And I think a lot of players still think that, right? And it doesn't happen anymore.
I was knocking on doors thinking, I applied for a job in Lidl, and they're like, oh, what are you on about? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if stocks are down?
It's that guy shouts.
I was like, oh, hang on a minute, I can grab a ploughman from a top view, no problem. No, but I genuinely thought then I was delusional, because I was applying for jobs. I thought, I'd definitely get this job. And they were like, thanks very much for your CV, which says nothing on it. And better luck next time. I was like, what do you mean? I can control a 5-metre line out against Leinster.
We haven't got a rugby team.
I know.
Lou,
you'd be great.
Little captain.
You'd be great if we had a sporting team, Lou, but we haven't.
So how did you fall? Tell us what you're doing now, and how did you fall into that then?
Yeah, so I work in medical sales now, and I was involved with the WRPA, Tim and Phil. Brilliant people.
Good boys, now.
I mean, now these guys changed no one I said I was having a wobble.
Phil was mad. I saw Phil, right? He was ex-policeman.
Yeah, both ex-policemen.
Both ex-policemen. I saw him on New Year's Eve, right? Having a dance off of my brother-in-law with his top off.
Yeah.
Characters. Great. They were characters.
And I tell you, there's nothing they haven't seen. They were in the police in the 90s.
Serious.
So they know all sorts of stuff. And I related to them straight away. Now, I'd come back and I was like, boys, I've not got a job. I'm scratching around watching Loose Women every day. You know what I mean? It's doing my head in, you know.
I might add on TV.
On TV. And I was like, what am I going to do here? Like, I was driving myself insane. I'd stopped training. I'd stopped everything. But I was really content, right? There was nothing wrong with me. I wasn't mentally unwell. I was really happy, eating junk, staying up late, you know, and doing all the stuff I'd missed out on doing.
Yeah.
Don't misinterpret what I'm saying.
Your missus must have been happy.
Well, there was more of me to love, put it that way. I put on about 3 stone, and she's like, who are you? I was like, what do you mean? I'm still me inside. But I'm no stranger to a fruit nut, you know, and I was probably Cadbury's best customer. I live around the corner from a Cadbury shop, MacArthur Glen. The woman who sort of raised her eyes when I walked in. So yeah, so I pulled myself together a bit, and I started applying for jobs, and I applied for this one job. And I think the one thing in life in general is you've got to have a network of people around you, right? And it's so important.
Well, that's what, you've got to use it, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're in the sport, which has got a lot of good people involved from all different sectors.
Yeah.
And you've got to try and, go up the ladder.
I always made it my business as well to go up and see sponsors after games. Brilliant. And speak to them.
Yeah.
And I wasn't confident, but I just chuck a mask on, get up there, do whatever I do, and whatever people say, oh, Lou's a character, I did that, whatever that is. And I can't put my finger on it.
No.
And I get up there, and some would like it, some wouldn't, whatever. But I urge any of these youngsters now, do that. Like, there's not many businesses involved in rugby anymore. No. But the ones that are, get into them, find out what they are doing.
Because they see something in you that they see that can help their company.
Yeah, exactly. You're some sort of asset to them now.
Yeah.
So I applied for a job, and I just knew someone who knew someone who knew someone. And before the job interview, I was really intimidated in this job interview. The spreadsheets up, there's numbers, there's figures, there's products. I'm sitting there, I guess, thinking, I don't know what day it is here, but I'll just be me.
Yeah.
I done a presentation for them. It was in medical sales at the French company. I did a presentation, but the background of the presentation was me tackling Bastero. Now, the guy they'd flown over from France to interview me loved his rugby. So he was pointing at Bastero, and he wanted to talk about that. The chap who interviewed me in Swansea was sort of marginally a rugby fan, but he had to put his trust in me, and thankfully he did. I knew loads of doctors who'd fixed me.
Yeah.
They fixed me everywhere, Jeff.
Yeah.
I had their numbers on my phone.
I'm the same. No, I'm the same. I must like you got one of your knees. In there.
Yeah. Yeah. Stuart Roy, Dave Pemberton, all these guys, Dan Lewis, Chris Wilson, they're all there. And as soon as you mention these people, that's it. That was the end. My phone book was full of them.
Yeah.
Thankfully, rugby's opened the door, but I've had to keep it open my own way, and learn the job and learn the rules. And that's what I've done. And I'm still in medical sales now, and I'm learning every day, but people seem to enjoy it, and I do as good as I can, really.
But you're doing other things, all right? You're not a normal kind of rugby-looking guy, are you? So have you been mistaken for someone else?
Yeah, I have. I've been mistaken. Only recently this has started happening to me. I messaged him on Instagram as well to see if he'd speak to me about it, because Tom Davies, the comedian. I had to find out who this guy was, because people were stopping me.
He's a Cockney, isn't he? A Cockney comedian.
He is. He does genuinely look like me as well. Now, if I see him on a clip on Instagram, there's an angle, I'm thinking, hang on, I've put a bit of timber on. But I think I'm leaner than him, like.
Yeah, but you're lucky. They think I look like Nigel Owens.
You do actually.
I know, unfortunately.
But I got somebody said to me the other day, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Birmingham. I was like, what? Birmingham? He said, you're Tom Davies. And he had his wife on FaceTime, and she said, oh, I don't think that's him. I said, no, it's not, but enjoy the show. Him, and obviously Tyson Fury. I've done a bit of lookalike stuff for Tyson Fury.
Have you?
Yeah. I've done an advert on TV for his drink. It's me, but it's his face. Oh, so it's him doing all the media stuff, but it's my body. So
Well, they superimposed his.
No, he come along and done his bit in front of the camera, and then I done all the jumping around then, and they're shooting guns and all. It's just an advert on TV. Yeah. So I had a whale of a time up in Manchester.
And I know you've been like bodyguarding for him as well, have you?
Well, the company I work for, Lions Den, and that's the company he uses, with Brendan Lyons is number one.
I know, yeah.
And then
he's a front of the boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's wrong. Yeah, he's up that way. And so it's his company, and I work for Brendan. And Brendan's put me on like some Michael Buffer, and all that type of thing. Yeah. So
what's it like working in that environment?
I love it. I know what you say about rugby and what you miss, what you don't miss. That's when you're with a bunch of boys.
Yeah.
And Brendan's gone for the top end boys in sports. Gavin Bilton, the Bull Bilton. When he snores, he shakes a building. John Phillips, the UFC fighter from Swansea.
Yeah.
He's in there. You know, we got a lot. Dan Lerwell. We got an abundance of boys who can actually do it.
How do you balance that then? Because you've got a serious job now. How do you balance that with your normal job?
Yeah, just most of the stuff I do is on weekends, so I do that. I fly to they were in Saudi Arabia, weren't they? I go over there and do that and take annual leave, so I just juggle it. Yeah. But there was element experience, and what rugby, the environment.
Yeah,
it's very similar. A bunch of boys together, cracking on, not really knowing what you're doing until it's chucked at you and reacting.
And I've seen you and Bradley doing the after dinner circuit. You enjoying that?
I do enjoy it. I love meeting the people and getting booked, and it's an experience walking into a club where nobody really knows you and they expect a lot of you. But probably similar to my rugby career, I'm winging it.
Is that harder, than going to play against, like, Bacchus Water, or going to wing it up in Tonpentre like Wokies?
Nah, it's the same sort of nerves,
It is.
but I suppose it's given me a link back to my rugby days, which I crave. I know I said I don't miss rugby, but I suppose I miss the preparation for something. So that's what I'm preparing for now.
But you got to do is, like, just be yourself. Just be credible, because people want to know your story, where you come from, things you do. Then job transition is important. Then the work you do as a bodyguard. Like, I know you're sharing them experiences with people who want, the thing is, right, when you're there, they want you to be who you are.
And what you've said there is, I'm surprised the little information I give people. I'm surprised how interested they are in it. I have to pinch myself sometimes, and people want to know the things that I get up to. Particularly me and Bradley go on doing these rugby clubs, and people love it. They absolutely love it. And I'm only saying it as it is. I'm not making anything up or anything like that. It's just how it is, how it's been.
You and Bradley Davies, 2 ex-Welsh international second rows, like, must be really intimidating, you two walking into a little club.
Well, yeah, we friends, that's what we are, and we deal with everything as friends deal with it. And I probably spend more time with Bradley now than I did when I was playing with him.
Who's the funniest, you or him?
Bradley's the funniest looking, isn't he?
Oh, okay. Right, Lou, before we end the conversation, I got quick fire questions for you, right? Get it, quick fire answers.
Okay.
So first one, most famous person in your phone?
Michael Buffer.
What's he say again now?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get it. And he's patented, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a clever man.
He's a clever man, right? Who's your hero growing up?
Probably Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Was it?
Yeah. Used to watch all his films and think I was him. Walk around in a vest, look nothing like him.
I thought he was going for Sylvester Stallone or something. So what's your pet hate?
Pet hate is traffic on the M4 in Newport and Port Talbot after driving the length of the UK and then getting stopped as I enter my own country.
I'm the same. I like going to Swansea Council.
I haven't got that far. Terrible, I just sit there, listen to Radio 2.
Worst rugby ground you played at?
Worst rugby ground I played at. Boy, he's going to get me in trouble here. Anyway,
no, you're not. Come on.
Worst rugby ground, probably Connaught on a Friday night when they haven't picked anyone to play who's any good, and they picked me to pick and go in the wind and the rain, and there's a dog race going on around the back of it.
That's horrendous. I've never commented.
Oh God, honestly. The only good thing about it is Galway's a cracking night out.
It's a good night out. If you could swap lives with a celebrity for a day, who would it be?
Tom Jones, innit?
It's got to be Tom, innit? Favourite film?
Favourite film? The Weatherman with Nicolas Cage.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual.
I'll have a look at it.
Just like me.
There we are then. Best karaoke song?
Lionel Richie, Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Who don't you want to sit to on the way to a game, on a plane or a bus?
Luke Charters, because his legs are too long and I have to put mine in the aisle.
Did you how did you and Luke Charters, you got to be in business class, didn't he?
Well, his legs were in business class, but his head was by the chickens at the back. Never room with Luke Charteris, his feet hang off a bed.
I know, I can imagine.
You walk into the
Horrendous.
toilet, he's jumping up in the air.
What's the one thing you're secretly terrible at?
Excel spreadsheets, like a toddler on it.
How would you like to be remembered?
I'd like to be remembered as a character.
And you will be, mate. Don't you worry. Lou, absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Good luck with your career
Thank
and
you.
all of them. All three of them, right?
Thanks very much.
If you enjoyed it, you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe to Jonathan X on YouTube.